everyone, I am back with a few more DESTASH lots. I have been continuing to sort through and try to get myself situated back into my space, and I have had to come to the realization that I have to get rid of more stuff. So I went through some of the things. These are some of the things that I already knew that I was going to destash, and then I've added some things that I really do not want to get rid of, but I have to. I have a limited amount of space, and I set some goals for myself that I was going to fit everything in these particular areas, and if it didn't fit, then I had to downsize and get rid of additional items. So if you have been following my channel for a while, you will know that over the years I have destashed and destashed. Over the last, I would say 15 plus years, I had collected crafting items and just all sorts of different items for craft projects and for creating the baby books that I make. And I really amassed a huge collection, and there was no way that I could use it all. So the last several years I have been doing destashes to try to get a handle on my collection. As I said, I've realized that more has to go. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show you what I have right now. And there may be more in the future. It just depends on the storage space that I have. Getting close to getting everything situated, and I cannot wait to share another video with you of my craft space. So let's go ahead and get started. The first destash slot I have is going to be vintage stationery, snail mail, writing paper, and things like that. This will be items that I did not want to get rid of. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so the first thing I have here is an unopened stationery set. It looks like it has some note cards. It hasn't been opened, but it does have a little corner that has been ripped. So you will get this little notepad. And then it looks like there are some greeting cards with envelopes. Oh, that looks like wrapping, gift wrap, I think. And then I think there's some stickers in here. Yes, or not stickers, but envelope seals. As I said, it has not been opened, so I'm not sure exactly everything that's in here. I don't know what this is back here. Maybe another card. I really don't know. Let's see if I can kind of peek without ripping. Okay, so it's some postalettes. I think that's how you pronounce it. So that is a nice little gift pack there. And then there's some ribbons here. I don't know if that's just for looks, but it says Floral Valentine. I guess because it has hearts with it. I don't know. I did not see a date anywhere, but I'm guessing this is probably 90s, if I had to guess, maybe early 2000. The next thing I have is this American Greetings. This is dated 50, 60, 73, I believe. I'm doing my Roman numerals correct. And there's not much in here, but it's adorable. This is just a high note. This is the Kewpie, with the Kewpie dowels. And looks like there's just a few in here, maybe 4 or 5. And here's a small package. I think this might be a little bit newer, but it's Postalettes, and I may have used one out of there, but I'm not mistaken. But I thought I would throw that in. Okay, here is a box of Kathy. I don't know if you recall this. I believe it was popular in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. 1983. And it's really cute. There's a little theme here so far. It looks like hearts, so how appropriate for Valentine's Day right around the corner. So it does come with a pen. I tested the pen. The pen does not work. And it has this piece of vellum over it. So there's some aging on it, but there's a nice little stack. And it's cute. It says, here's the latest dirt, and then she's sweeping up. And they're dated, so we have some cute little envelopes to match. I don't know exactly how many's in here, but there is a nice little stack. These are adorable little cards. They are from IKEA. And here are the little ducks that will be on each card. It is a full set. It looks like it has been opened, but it is a full set, and they have not been used. And these are considered vintage because, almost vintage. It's dated 2006, so not quite there. If you use the 20-year rule, they're almost vintage. So here are some vintage Ambassador Postalettes, and these are really pretty, and they would work great for junk journals, and I have used these in some of the baby books that I make, and I don't see a date anywhere, but I mean $1.98, that's an old price. And then here's another box of the Postalettes, and again, I don't know how many's in here, but there's quite a bit. And these would be great for junk journals. Oh, and with both of the boxes, you will get the matching seals that seal the Postalette closed. So you'll get that. And this box has them as well. Really pretty butterflies. And then here is a Holly Hobby writing tablet. And I'm sure you can see by now why I do not want to get rid of this stuff. This is dated 1990. I love this stuff, and there's quite a bit left on the tablet there. And I have to make some room. So I thought I would try to share it with you guys first. Here's some Maya Angelou cards, and these are really pretty. I know I've used a couple of these in some of the baby books that I've created. They are considered vintage, 2001. Nice little saying on there. And there's still room in the box, so I'm going to add in a few more things. It's a box of note cards. You probably recognize that. Initial there, MK for Mary Kay. And these are really pretty cards. I don't know that they are vintage. Let's see if there's a date. 2015. So these are a little bit newer, but just as adorable. And this is not really stationery. I don't guess it would be considered stationery, but I thought I would throw it in since there's room. This is, I guess, some sort of journal. I think it has a pocket right there. And it looks like it had stickers, but they have been taken out. So it is dated 1998. So this is vintage. And I don't know, I guess it's just kind of a journal. So it's cute. I'm throwing that in because there is room in the box for it. And I'm also going to throw in these vintage Garfield postcards. They have not been used. They are dated, this one's 1978. And this one is, I guess, 1980. This is a 1986 postcard. This is a handmade note card. It just needs an envelope with it. And then I have some note cards. I don't know where the envelopes are, but they're adorable. There's a handful of those. And then I'm also going to throw in this postcard. I don't know if you recognize who that is, but it is Norma Jean Baker, aka Marilyn Monroe. And this is dated 1989. So this is a box of things I do not want to get rid of, but I have to. So this box is going to be a little bit more expensive than my normal DESTASH lots. My normal DESTASH lots, I try to keep them pretty low, just to give everyone a great deal and just to move things along pretty quickly. This is stuff that I don't want to get rid of. This entire box is going to be $50 shipped. So if you are interested, these are items that I do not want to get rid of. I have collected these items, as I said, over 15 plus years. And I have to make some room. So if you are interested, this will be $50 shipped, and it will be US only unless you're willing to help out with some of the shipping costs. Just contact me and let me know if you are outside of US and are interested in these items, and I can give you a shipping cost. The next lot, and this lot is going to be a combination of things that I had already planned to get rid of, and then some things that I didn't really want to get rid of, but I just have to. So let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a lot of stuff. I think that I will be able to fit it inside of a medium flat rate shirt box. This is stuff that I had been collecting over time because I wanted to do a few journals with it. So let me go ahead and show you what we have here. Most of it is going to be vintage. There might be some newer items included, but I believe the majority is going to be vintage. So there's a lot. Let me step it up a little bit and try to get through this stuff. So the first thing I have here are some vintage stickers, and they are so adorable. I cannot remember where I got these from. It seems like they came out of some sort of magazine or book, but I don't know. I could be mistaken. So there's no date, but there we go. And here are a few vintage images. I think these came off of a book. Here I am. I said I would get through this quickly, and I'm sitting here talking about everything. So here is a vintage baby book. I thought this was beautiful. The images are beautiful. And I think I got this at an antique mall. I just could not leave it behind. I had planned on making something with it. It kind of makes me a bit sad that it wound up in an antique mall, so I wanted to rescue it. Here's a date, 1953. I wanted to rescue it and do something with it. These pages could definitely be used for some sort of junk journal or craft project. So let me just flip through quickly. There's writing on some of it, but some of the pages are still blank. I just thought it was a beautiful book. And then here is a vintage baby book that has not been used. So you could definitely take this apart or use it as is. And there is a load of this vintage wrapping paper. It has not been opened. So it's just adorable paper. And here's some blue. I thought this was so cute. It says, "This little piggy stayed home." Isn't that adorable? And here's some pink. Just the cutest images on this vintage wrapping paper. Here's some pink doilies. Here is an unopened border. And I can't remember if I don't think I found a date on this, but I'm sure it's probably 80s, 90s, somewhere around there. Oh, we have another vintage book here. It has some adorable photos. And it's from the 50s. So if you are into vintage photos, I know a lot of people like to work with those. So I love looking at old photos. It's just really neat. Especially the ones from the 1800s. Those are so cool. So you can use this as a scrapbook, or you can take it apart. The pages have some really nice aging. Okay, then I have some vintage book pages with some really nice colorful images on them. And these are cute. There's some poems and so I just really have way too much stuff here, as you can see. Okay, this is really cool. Let's see if there is a date. It says 1897. I'm wondering if that is the correct date or if it's just the copyright date. But that has some beautiful images on there. Here's an envelope that can be tea dyed or coffee dyed. Here are some, I don't know if this one's vintage. It looks a little bit older. They're invitations from well, this one's Hallmark. This one is not Hallmark. And this one's Hallmark. So these, I like to use these. I found a bunch of them at a thrift store. I like to use them for inserts. So I have plenty. So I thought I need to downsize on some of those. So here is Okay, goodness, I need to step it up here. This video is going to be super long. Here is a vintage greeting card, and this one is beautiful. It has not been used. It has the envelope with it. This is adorable. I think this one has been used, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. But that would make a nice little insert. Here's adorable book here. And what is this? 1958, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. But those images are just so adorable. And more greeting cards. This one has not been used. 25 cents. Where can you get a greeting card for 25 cents? I guess at the thrift store. I think they're 50 cents at my favorite thrift store. This is a vintage stationery pocket, I guess. But I just thought it was so pretty, and I thought it would make a great pocket or something for a junk journal. Here is a vintage card, flash card, and another greeting card. I think it looks like there's been a piece cut out of it. Here's some vintage, I don't know if this is tissue paper, but it's pretty. Okay, more wrapping paper. Here is a vintage doily. I don't know what you call this, but it's pretty. There is so much here. You could probably make several journals with all of this stuff. These are newer, and I don't really use, they're a little bit thicker. I don't know if these are considered, I guess these would be considered cardstock. But I don't really use stickers all too much, not sentiments. I usually hand stamp my sentiments, but these are cute. And see, as I'm looking through this stuff, I just want to put it back, but I want to put it back in my stash, but as I said, I have to make room. These are vintage. They're so cute. They are vintage baby shower games, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they're from Hallmark. Yes, here we go. 1982 Hallmark. So here's some little cards. And here is a get well soon postcard. Little bag, more of those. Here's some envelopes for stamping or copy staining, whatever you like to do. Here is some cute book pages with little nursery rhymes. And it's so funny. I know all of these rhymes, and one day I was asking my grandsons about them, and they had no idea at all. So I don't know if I felt old then, or disappointed that they didn't know, or sad that these nursery rhymes are basically being lost in time. So anyway, didn't mean to get all depressing there. Here's some music paper, and I think this is from the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. I did punch out some hearts, but I believe this came from a booklet that was 1800s. I have this book here. I think I'm going to gut it. The cover is so cute. If you want this lot and you want the inside of this book, just let me know. If not, I'll just gut it. I will take the pages out and just send the cover. Let me move this stuff over. We're running out of room here. We have so much more to sort through. I think I'm going to try to put it in high gear and just hopefully get through this. So we have some vintage ribbons, vintage buttons. I don't know if this is a vintage piece or not, or just made to look vintage. Here's some snap fasteners. These tags are newer. It's a tiny little congratulations greeting card. And here is a card with an envelope. There's an applique. A little vintage yo-yo. Just all sorts of little bits and pieces. Here's some vintage earrings. They say baby. So there's just all sorts of little embellishments. Here's some vintage, what is that? Is it twine, I think? Some little vintage straight pins. Here's some fabric. And I'm pretty sure this is older. It's super soft. Here's some more vintage ribbon and some ruffle lace. You will get some vintage. This might even be antique doilies. And more ribbon. There's just so much here. Some vintage hankies and more vintage lace. A few adorable little pieces here. And I've had these for so long, I always wanted to use them in a baby book, and I just have not. So they are being offered. Okay, oh my goodness. Okay, so more doilies, more lace. There's a quilted tulip, another hanky, more vintage laces. Here is Here's some more of the vintage games, and these are kind of cool. There's one for each month. So a lot of this stuff is stuff I did not want to get rid of. There's so much it's falling over. Here's a vintage, I believe it's vintage. $19.96, so yes, vintage pattern. And what else do we have here? Some snap fasteners, more vintage paper, some more envelopes, book images. And look how adorable. Here is a book. This may even be antique. I don't know if I found a date on this one. But look at those images. More cards, greeting cards. This one has not been used. Here is a beautiful old 1909, so we can call this one antique. So I just love that old handwriting on there. So all of this stuff was divided into a book for a boy and then one for a girl. So I just combined everything together, and so you'll see you'll have enough items to do probably, gosh, I don't even know, many books, journals, crafting projects. So here is an adorable greeting card, more envelopes. We have a little bag of vintage buttons and vintage yo-yos. Here is a vintage pen. I think this was on a greeting card. Okay, so the last thing that will go with this particular lot is going to be some jewelry. This is a beautiful button that is just gorgeous. It needs to be cleaned up a bit. Here's a buckle. This, I believe, is all vintage. So this is not vintage, but those are vintage pieces I glued on there to try to make it look a little better. It was just so white, but I thought that turned out cute. Here's a vintage clasp. I thought that would look beautiful on the front cover of a junk journal. Just all sorts of bits and pieces, little charm here, some buttons, there's a tiny little buckle. Here's some cameos. There's another little charm. Mother of pearl button. Here's a cute little puffy heart. Here are some tassels with a little spring ring clasp. Here's a button, rhinestone, I guess. Here's some pretty glass beads. I don't know what these are, but they are pretty. Here's a piece to a locket. I don't think I have the other part, but that would look good on a project. And some little pearls here, and I think that's crystal. Could be glass. So I think that is it for this particular lot, and this lot will also be $50 shipped. That is a great deal in my opinion. You can see there are tons and tons of items. I've collected these items over the last 15 plus years. If you are interested in any of these lots, I will leave my information down below. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for watching.